Now let's look at Twi nouns that do not have plural forms. So we are looking at some Twi noun categories that typically do not have plural forms. And the obvious categories are the uncountable and abstract nouns, which is the same as you have in English. So uncountable nouns are those that you cannot count individually. So for example, sugar, rice, water, and all those. You can't count them, right? And it's the same in Twi. So in Twi, uncountable nouns do not have plural forms. So for example, sugar in Twi is esichiri. And esichiri is always esichiri. It doesn't matter whether it's one, if it's a tiny grain of sugar. Do you say grain of sugar? So it doesn't matter if it's just one or a cup full of sugar or a container full of sugar. It doesn't matter. It's still esichiri. And it's the same with salt. Salt in Twi is nchene, and it's always nchene, whether singular or plural, it's still nchene. We have water. Water is nsuo, and it's always nsuo, right? Now, another category of nouns that do not have plural forms is abstract nouns. Abstract nouns are nouns that describe abstract stuff. So, ideas, concepts, feelings, qualities, and all that. So, for example, love, right? Love. So, in English, love is always love. Whether it's one love or two loves, it's still love, right? So, we have love, we have hate, right? As in hatred. We have stupidity, right? We have happiness, and all those. Those are abstract nouns. We don't count them, right? And it's the same in Twi. So in Twi, for example, we have love. And love in Twi is odo, right? Odo. And odo is always odo. There's no plural form for odo, okay? We have enijie, happiness, right? Enijie. Enijie is always enijie, okay? Enijie. We have hatred, which is otain, okay? Otain. And otain is always otain, right? We have jimie. Jimie. Jimie is always jimie, right? So for such nouns, we don't have plural forms for them. So for the two categories of nouns that we've looked at, it's the same in both English and in Twi in terms of, their plurals. The fact that they don't have plurals, right? But there's one category of Twi nouns that do not have plural forms that is different from what you have in English. And that is body parts. In English, you have singular and plural forms for the body parts, right? So the hand, you say hands, right? The eye, you say eyes, right? You even say you have mouths to feed, right? The mouth and mouths, right? You have the leg, you have legs. Now, that is where the difference is, because in Twi, for most of the body parts that we have, we don't have plural forms for them. So we use the same form for both singular and plural. And this is what you should keep in mind, all right? Because this is what is different when it comes to nouns that do not have plural forms. So in Twi, if you take the hand, for example, the hand is nsa. 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 And it doesn't matter whether you're talking about one hand, two hands, or 1,000 hands. It doesn't matter. We use the same form whether it's for singular or the plural. So we don't have plural forms for most of the body parts. If you take the eye is eni, right? Eni. And it doesn't matter whether you're talking about one eye or two eyes. It's still eni, all right? If you take the forehead is moma. Moma. And it doesn't matter the number of moma that you are talking about. It's still moma, okay? If you take the ear is asun. Asun. And it doesn't matter whether you're talking about one ear or, multiple ears. It's still asun. If you take the head is itri. Itri. And it's it's itri, whether it's one head or multiple heads. If you take the knee is kotoje. Kotoje. Okay, kotoje. And it doesn't matter the number. We still use kotoje. We have the tongue. The tongue is techrema. Techrema. And techrema is always techrema. It doesn't matter the number of tongues that you are talking about, okay? So keep in mind that for body part names in Twi, we typically do not have plural forms for them. There's one body part though that I can think of that does have a plural form, and that is dompe. Dompe. So dompe is the bone, right? Dompe is the bone, and it does have a plural form, and that is nompe. Nompe. So if you want to say bones, that is nompe. So as you can see, it is following the plural noun formation for Twi words whose first consonant is neither b, p, nor f. Again, if you haven't taken the lessons in the series yet, there's a link to the whole playlist up here. So because this starts with a d, right? Its plural is formed by bringing before that, and then we have ndompe, right? Ndompe. And I told you when comes right before d, the mostly causes the d to change into as well. So it assimilates it to allow for easier pronunciation. So we end up with ndompe. Ndompe. So that is the only body part name that I can think of at the moment that has a plural form. If I get more, I'll add it to the text version of this lesson on learnakan.com. Now, for these body parts, if you want to indicate quantity, you can add a number to them. So, for example, I told you the eye is any, and it doesn't matter whether it's one eye or two eyes. But if specifically I want to say two eyes, I can say eni mienu. Okay, eni mienu. A tree is the head, and it's always a tree whether it's one or two or more. It doesn't matter. But if you do want to indicate the number, you can say a trenum. A trenum, that would be 5 heads, right? Nsa is the hand, right? And it's the same form for both the singular and the plural. But if you want to indicate number, you can say nsamienu, right? Nsamienu, 2 hands, right? Techema is the tongue, and it doesn't matter whether you're talking about one tongue or multiple tongues. But if you do want to indicate the number, then you can say techema pim, for example. Techema pim. There's a gospel song that has this techema pim in one of its lines. It says, Semiwo. Techema pimwa anka meyi mejefo naye. Semiwo techema pima anka meyi mejefo naye. If I had 1,000 tongues, I would glorify my Savior. All right. Semiwo techema pimwa anka meyi mejefo naye. So that is how you indicate number with these body parts names in Twi. And again, do ensure that the number goes after the noun, so after the name that it modifies, not before like you have in English. So in English, you say 2 eyes, for example. So the 2, which is the adjective, comes before the noun that it modifies, right? But in Twi, if you took this lesson on the positioning of the adjectives in Twi, you know that true adjectives in Twi come after the nouns that they modify. So while you say 2 eyes, we say something that translates back to English as eyes 2, right? So keep that in mind. So we have eni mienu, right? Eni mienu. Techema pim, right? Techema pim, not apim techema. So you don't bring the apim before, all right? Kotoje nyina bekoto. Kotoje nyina bekoto. All knees will bow, right? So kotoje nyina bekoto. So you see the nyina, which is all, coming after the kotoje, right? There's a saying that goes like ensa tia nyina nyepe. Ensa tia nyina nyepe. So you have ensa tia, which is the finger, right? The finger. And the finger is a body part, right? So it doesn't have a plural form. So if you want to say 2 fingers, you say ensa tia mienu, right? Ensa tia mienu. And we have ensa tia nyina, all fingers, right? So ensa tia nyina nyepe, all fingers are not equal, all right? I hope to see you in the next one.